You've been bugging all day, bro. Who's better, Big or Pac?
Pac's way better than Big, bro.
How? Big is a way better spitter than
He's
him.
not a better spitter than Pac, bro. Pac got way more content.
I didn't ask you about content. Who's better, LeBron or MJ?
Jordan, that's not even a question, bro.
It is a question. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a special Mother's Day edition of All's Well's World. Wow, I gotta get that together. Oh Well's World. We got my lovely mother, the right apostle.
Thank you, son.
Els is here too. He doesn't have a mic, but you can say what up one time. So I'm happy. Thank you for coming on. I definitely wanted you to come on last year for Father's Day, but I kind of got my schedule messed up. And we almost missed today. Honestly, I forgot that Mother's Day was tomorrow. I honestly thought that it was. I thought that it was next week. I thought I had another week to prepare, and I didn't. So yeah, but we here now. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
So I'm gonna talk about mothers and motherhood, and I know the last time you was on, we talked about the dynamic when it came to me. I want to ask you, do you think it's easier to be a mom now as opposed to, let's break it down like this. Do you think it's easier to be a mom now than it was from when I was born? Or do you think it was easier when grandma was raising you?
I think the easiest time of parenting was when my mother was raising me. Mm-hmm. Because the saying of "it takes a village" was really enacted. Because you had grandma lived down the street, uncle and auntie lived around the corner. Your village was pretty much there. Mm-hmm. So that if any emergency came up in the family, or you go, the boy go right around the corner, go over to your uncle's house, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. They had that closer connectivity there. When I was raising you, it wasn't as convenient, okay, because I had moved upstate. Mom and the gang was downstate. Mm-hmm. So most of your uncles and aunties were downstate in Brooklyn while we was up here in Albany. If something came up and I could snatch up a friend or somebody from the church.
Shout out Brooklyn, y'all.
Then that would be then, there was another issue that ensued. And I think now is about the worst time to be a parent in the sense of the village concept.
Okay.
Because this generation of young folk, no disrespect, seems to be disconnected from the nuclear family concept. Mm-hmm. And reach out more to friends, my friend this, my friend that, my friend. And when it comes to your brother or your sister, or sometimes even your mother and your father, they're just not accessible to you to get that parenting in and to cover your children at times when it's necessary. When zipping, back to the 50s, where I was born, you definitely had family. Mm-hmm. Or you had people that were in your life so long they might as well be family. It might not be no blood technically involved, but you can count and depend on them.
I'm sorry.
That I don't find that to be so true in this generation.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's why do you think that is though? Because I feel like as far as our family is, you're right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I could ask you, but most likely I'm not. But I got my dad there, so he's there to help per se. Mm-hmm. But no, and even with that, I feel like I could, if I needed you to watch the girls, I can ask you to watch the girls. Absolutely. But I feel like the whole village aspect of, how back in the day when you would get in trouble on the block or something and the neighbor would see you, whip you. Oh, I'm gonna tell your mother when you come home, whip the mother would chastise you, whip you. And if it was a more serious offense, wait till your daddy get home.
Yes.
So I know and it's not as simple as I'm making it seem, but I know through the years, the father was taking out the home. We had the crack epidemic happened to us, so it calls for a lot of weird behavior, and the weird behavior I mean by people touching on kids and people doing stuff. So I know as a father, as a parent, I don't trust. I personally don't trust a lot of things.
Understand.
So I know, when I was younger, you would legit let me go outside. And even before, the generation before me, it was no, yo, get outside, get into some trouble, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where now, I'm probably going to give patients a ride everywhere. Mm-hmm. Same with Noodle. Mm-hmm. If she has to go somewhere, or if she wants to go to a friend's house, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, well, who's over there, right. who's the parent, what, you know what I'm saying, like what are you getting into because of the news, and we hear stories of misbehavior that's going on, right. So I feel like it's well, I don't know, because I didn't grow up then, but I know, as far as you raising me, it was definitely easier to the fact of you could do, I don't really know how I want to word it, but it's basically, to me it was easier for you because there was still that lasting effect of community. Because you're right. There was still that lasting effect in community, because we was cool with both neighbors. We knew some people around the neighborhood, and then with the church family, you were really close with a lot of other church members. So it was all right, that's Vivian's son Ronell. That, you know what I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna keep my eye on him. Whereas now it's more of a don't touch mine, don't talk to mine, because you yell at patients or something, I'm coming to step to you. Mm-hmm. Whether she's in the right or the wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you. What's up? Mm-hmm. Oh no, she was doing this. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So I think you're right on that, actually.
Yeah, but also we don't really, even in today's in our society, there's a lack of societal trust.
Yes.
Because like you said, you could go and send your child to somebody's church, and the church mother could get up and give your child a spanking, mm-hmm. no issue. Mm-hmm. But when that child got home, guess what? Mm-hmm. They got another spanking.
Right.
Because why did the church mother have to spank you out of all the kids there? And it was that trust factor, that confidence that church mother just wouldn't get up and pick on my child.
Right.
Wherein now, listen, the Coast Guard, the Army, the Navy, and the Marines is coming up at your door because you looked at my child.
Right.
Didn't even touch him.
Right.
Looked at him.
Right.
Okay. So that issue is not prevalent mm-hmm. Now as it was then. So you don't have that trust. You don't have that. Okay, well, let me talk to you and let me find out. What they don't want to talk. Mm-hmm. They rather fight now. We can talk later. And before it was okay, more like the Bible says, it was a come, let us reason together. Let's find out whose child did what. Right. And then punishment came as appropriation. But then also, too, even here lately, when you look at the news and various other social entities that make themselves available, mm-hmm. there's those underlying factors that we don't talk about. Back in the day, we didn't talk about incest.
Right.
Okay? I knew growing up, I never even heard the word incest. Mm-hmm. I was an adult before I even knew what incest really was. Even if I heard the word, I didn't know what it meant. Mm-hmm. But now you have incest, you have pedophiles. Okay, everybody look nice and kind, ain't nice and kind.
Right.
So I understand parents being cautious. And when I take patients with me shopping, girl, if I can't see you, there's an issue.
Yes.
Okay, so if I can't see, and she just does child things, mm-hmm. She likes to run up and down the aisles and look at this and that, and I don't have a problem with you doing that, long as I can see you. Yeah. Exactly. When we ain't got no signal, you girl, if you don't come over here, okay. And I don't mean to instill in her that fear of everybody, but then again, I do.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I don't want you walking over there talking a little snowball there, and bunny rabbit. and all of that. You don't know them, they don't know you. Okay, let us adults talk, and you need to know where they're going. You need to know who's going to be there. You need to know, how long this is going to go on, and what's expected to happen.
Right.
Okay, simply because of all the mistrust. And then let me not leave out modern technology.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's not leave.
Do you think? So, do you think technology is worsening
the human factor? Yes.
Okay.
I think it's worsening. Okay, because when you grew up, it was Sesame Street.
Yes.
That was the big thing.
Yes.
When I grew
Shout
up,
out to Sesame Street.
when I grew up, it was Captain Kangaroo.
I have no clue who that is.
Okay, I know you don't, but Popeye and eating spinach, you know what I mean? That was
Okay,
what was going on
know
when I
Popeye.
was growing up. Okay, I know you heard about him. All right, and it fostered family time in front of the TV.
Yeah.
Nowadays, because I look at my granddaughters, and I see that they have their own little iPads and their own little
Yes.
little electronical gadgets that I do not know how to operate. Okay, and Patience is very patient with me and trying. Look, Grandma, Nana, look, Nana, you could do this and you could do that. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I do not know, and I have to tell her, please forgive me. I cannot follow that. Okay, I don't even have an iPad at this particular point in my life, but it draws away from the human contact, okay? Because when you were growing up and Cameron was growing up, your cousin, okay, and other little ones in the neighborhood, what's his name from next door with Wendy? Zach. And there was a human contact.
Right.
Okay, let's
Shout out my
go
boy Zach.
play together.
And my cousin
Let's
Cameron.
go to the game together. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, it was that together human, and they would take you with them on vacation. The human factor.
Right.
Okay. But now it's like, well, I got to get my child the latest game, Xbox, and all of that, and I've got to make sure my child has the latest and the greatest iPad, and because there's always improvement in the technology. Okay. So that keeping up with the Joneses is still a real saying. It's a real thing, but it's taken on a different meaning
Yeah.
now than it did then.
Well, you're right, because both of my kids got their own iPad.
Yes, they do.
But I think it's more because it's out. To me, it's just easier, and it helps a lot, especially if you're trying to do some stuff around the house. Here, have this iPad. They be on YouTube. Now there are different fears that come with that, because they'll see something that they ain't supposed to see, or they'll look up something, or they hear something, and then it's in their mind, and they're like, what's that mean? As far as me being there for them, I feel like we connect on that. We connect through technology, because if Patience sees something that's funny, she can send it to me. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll laugh about it, and then we'll talk about it. If there's something that is inappropriate and I see it, you like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? What do you're not supposed to be doing that? And then take it away. Oh, that's the last thing Patience wants. You know what I'm saying? Noodle too, and Noodle's a little younger, but that's the last thing either of them want. So it's definitely it works for it can work, I should say. It can work for discipline things, education, because they can be very educational. It's definitely a number one thing for entertainment and games and stuff, and it keeps them occupied. So sometimes it can be a distraction. It can be a cop out, because you could just leave them in front of the iPad for hours and hours on end, and you know what I'm saying, they just entranced. But I would definitely 100% agree with you when it comes to the lack of human activity. Yeah,
you don't get that connection, and like you said, I'm not trying to say all technology is bad by any means, because there's the pros and the cons,
right,
both sides.
Right.
But if you as a parent manage it,
right,
it can hold untold treasures for not just you but the child itself, because then that will motivate the child, like you said, to send you stuff,
Right.
and share with you what they've learned, and things that they've gotten, out of that, and then there's another level of connectivity with that, with I say I don't want to tell on myself with age, but
Ma, you
that,
sat on here and said you was born in the 50s.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself. I didn't say when in the 50s. There's the social media aspect.
Yes.
Of it. The thing I don't like is when you were being raised, there was no cyber bullying.
Yeah.
That did not have an influence in your life to say, well, I'm going to kill myself because I got 50 people that's saying that I'm ugly, I'm not worthy, and I can't be helped. Oh, no. And I can appreciate that's devastating. And that didn't mean suicide didn't happen back in the day.
Right.
But you didn't hear as much about it, and you did not have that particular reason,
Right.
For the suicide and the disconnect among people. But you have the young people today have so many options, with Facebook and Twitter and some of the other things that I'm not even aware of that are out there for them. And then the competition among those technical folk that manufacture these things, they're looking for the next great thing, the next great thing, and if it's not managed appropriately, then just like I'm getting my thoughts rounded together here, but if it's not managed, okay, it is not a babysitter.
Right.
Okay, it is not a teacher, although it lends, has that value of educating and sharing and enlightening and say, oh yeah, I wasn't aware of that. Oh yeah, but it's been there all the time, etc. That sort of thing. And in this, because I am resisting Facebook. I am so resisting Facebook.
Because you do have one.
I do have one.
Yes.
I have an account, and I do look at it on occasion. Okay, but I don't do it every day. There are sometimes weeks that go by that I don't, and if it wasn't for some of the people that has me as their friend, that I would get these things, notices and whatnot, then I would not be involved with Facebook right now at all. Excuse me. But I also understand that how long am I going to be able to do that?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because even dealing with some of the churches, we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you go to
Everybody.
businesses.
Literally
and
everybody's
we're
on Facebook now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I went to a store, excuse me, the other day, and they said, check Facebook for our hours. And I'm like, what? You can't go to the mall and shop at a store without first checking at Facebook before I know that they're not closed or they're open today or what they're out.
It's just,
what?
that is weird, but it literally is that convenient to where you could just search.
Convenient for who?
I'm saying I feel like I would rather look at my phone and see if they open than to drive all the way to said store and find out that they closed.
And you were born when?
91. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Because even with the differences between you and I mean, even setting up
Cash App.
Okay? They changed something. Ronell, could you come by and look at this thing? Okay? I got money tied up now that I can't get to because I don't remember how to push this button or do that, or and that's on me.
Right.
That's on me. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. But that don't make me like it.
Right.
That don't make, and it sure doesn't at this point endear me to it. Like I got that. No. Because if I could do the same thing in an easier fashion, because for me it's easier to go down to the credit union, stand on the line, wait to see a teller, and get my money. Because when I walk out of there, I got money in hand stuck in my pocketbook, and that is not an issue.
Right.
Okay? Cash App, I got to wait 2 days or 3 days if I want to spend my money, telling them to do it immediately so I can have access then. And no.
It's so much easier.
That's just me, though.
It's so easy. Switching gears. So explain to me as a mother the differences between, and this might be like a little different era because my sister is a little, and I mean that respectably. I don't want my sister to beat me up, but she's a little older than me. But what the differences between raising a woman and raising a man as a mother.
My basic philosophy is that a woman is a woman. She never has been a man, nor can she be. A man can instill the male philosophy, for lack of a better term right now, and traits that a woman cannot. We make efforts. I mean, we do the best that we can with what we have and what we can use. Now, that does not mean that a good man cannot come out of a relationship like that. But there's always that missing factor that the man is missing. Because in my experience, a man needs a man to look up to be a role model. He does not have that role model, okay? He knows nothing about a menses every month, okay? As far as personal experience, they say, well, this is, you can expect the cramps, and you can expect the discomfort, you can expect the bloating, you can expect the headache, all of those things, because he ain't never going to experience none of that. Right. Okay, and
thank you, Jesus.
And it's easier for children to follow the example. Like when I was working, I took you to work with me. If the sitter wasn't available, or they had to send you home, from school for being sick or whatever have you, there's no problem. You saw an example of a good work ethic. Which I thank God for immensely.
Yes.
Okay, but when it came to, say, like potty training, I was calling your uncle. Could you come over here, and show him what to do? I can't. How could I possibly?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just easier in some ways, but I believe that God created that connection from man to man and woman to woman, because even now, at the young age that I am now, there are things about the quote unquote brotherhood I'll never understand. I'll never understand it. A bunch of men can get together, and sports is like one of the common denominators.
Oh, yeah,
Not
man.
all men are into sports, but those that are, all you got to do is mention a baseball game, a basketball game. And, oh, did you see? And it's like, oh, yeah, man. And that's that camaraderie.
Literally right before we started recording, we had a whole conversation with Uncle. Shout out Uncle Al. Yeah. And shout out my sister, too. Young Marty.
Yes, yes. Because there's that commonality among men that brings them into that social aspect of being connected. Okay, and I don't know how much longer God is going to allow me to live, but I have 4 brothers, a husband, a son, and multiple male factors that I'm acquainted with. And I declare there are things I just don't understand. I just do not.
Well, the same could be said about the women.
Yeah, but you asked me.
You're right.
You asked me.
You're right.
Okay. And so, not that a woman can't raise a good man, but if that's exclusive of his experience in growing up, he's going to be lacking or missing some of those attributes or some of those traits that man to man he will not have.
Okay. I like that. You think it was easier? Do you think it was easier raising my sister, or was it easier raising me?
It was easier raising your sister.
Really?
Because, you were easier to live with, and she was harder to raise in a sense. Because after fashion, we bumped heads on how things should be done. Your sister's a really a stubborn, strong-willed sort of individual, and I wasn't about to let her have the upper hand, so to speak. So, we had our clashes, in growing up and determining what the boundaries were. And because of life situations and the lifestyle I chose to be part of the church, to be involved with the church, and to stay in the church, it made some things difficult for her to kind of grasp and hold on to when it wasn't her choice. She was there because I was there.
Right.
She went because I went. She did certain things because I did certain things, not because I sat her down and said, well, listen, baby, today is Sunday, and I'm going to church, so you're going to church. And I did not give her the choice to say, well, would you like to go to church with me? No, that was just standard.
Right.
I'm going. You
going.
living in this house where I'm paying the rent. You going. Okay? And that made it kind of difficult at times when it seemed to be a conflict, and it may be viewed as being hypocritical in the sense that, okay, you can make choices. Mm-hmm. Well, how come I can't make choices about going to church? Mm-hmm. There ain't no choice. Mm-hmm. As long as you living in this house, okay, well, I'm paying the rent.
Right.
You going.
Right.
All right? If you ain't going, you leaving here.
Got you.
All right? That was just the way that was for then. Mm-hmm. And I still encourage that having a connection with God and staying faithful to that. It helps you, in my opinion, to stay strong in your convictions and those things that you know that are right or wrong, and you know the difference between the two.
Would you what are the joys that you have of being a mother?
A sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, receiving love, and freely giving love, and that's multiplied when you have grandchildren. Yes. I'm a giver, so it gives me an avenue to give to others with knowing where that money is going. It's not, I give to charities as well, but I know if my daughter is down on her luck, so to speak, and need a couple of dollars, I know that, boom, I could shoot her $100. I could shoot her $50, and I know that she's the one that's getting it.
Shout out Cash App.
All right, and absolutely, and I think I feel good about that.
Right.
That I'm able to do that. Coming up myself, we were raised on welfare, and there's no shame in that. Because you ain't got the money, you got to get it.
Right.
Some kind of how. And I was not able, to go to my mother and say, well, I need $25 or I need $100. Back then, $100 was a whole heap of money. Okay, and you did not lightly ask for that kind of a loan.
Right.
But I feel, in being a mother, it's just a wonderful feeling of belonging, and it's a sense of security as well. Because if the neighbor's child don't like me, so what? I have my own.
Right.
If the children in the Sunday school don't like me, so what? I got my own, and in that arena, okay, they don't have to like me. I have those that love me, and that can sometimes make a great difference.
What do you think when it comes to parents butting heads, right? What do you think? I don't really know how I want to. What do you think as time and even as like the era of the world, and we got cancel culture, and we got everybody's woke now, and now it's a thing to not hit your kids, talk to your kids or whatever, and I semi agree with that, even though I the Bible does say spoil the rod, spoil the child, but I feel like some people don't know how to discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, she spilled water, whip her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she kicked me by accident, whip her. Whereas like that probably wasn't needed. You know what I'm saying? How do you gauge disciplining your child, and if let's start there, then I'll go to my next point.
Okay. You have to understand that there are levels of discipline. And for yourself as a parent, you have to gauge what that discipline is. Now, your sister had a whole different outview on life, so to speak, so that when it came to disciplining her, neither one of y'all did I ever choke,
No.
kick, or get a bar and beat you upside the head with that. I did not do that. But a lot goes into
thank you, Jesus.
what a lot goes into how do you view that? How do you view discipline? Okay. One of the things I can tell you about Celine is she missed a lot of birthday parties. A lot of birthday parties because we go to school, we got problems with the teachers, we get to the principal's office. Oh no! And you think I'm gonna spend my time and my money and set you up at Chuck E. Cheese or the like, and watch you have a good time when I had to spend half my work day up at the school talking to your principal about something you knew better than to do and you did it?
Right.
Oh, that's discipline right there. Okay? Or if there was an allowance factor. I didn't really deal with allowances too well, but if there was a financial factor involved, then, we would cut the finances. Or you would do without the finances. And then, I believe in what they called back in the day as corporal punishment, where, we got the belt and we whipped you behind, that sort of thing, but not to the point where, we were drawing blood, and not to the point where we felt that your life was endangered, by it. A smack on the hand, a little smack on the butt, I feel is very appropriate for the most part when it comes to reiterating to you that I meant what I said, sort of thing. So you could set limits, and then, there's some children that you could just yell at.
Patience.
Okay, and that's enough. Because they did not want mom or dad to yell at them, and that was, or pluck, okay, and that made the difference with them. But then there are some that are trying that will require a little bit more than that. Yeah, so, and because you, as a parent, you should know the temperament of your child.
Right.
And if it takes a yell, let the yell do. If it takes a cut off of privileges, then you let that do. But you should know how to gauge the level of punishment with that particular child, because all children are not the same.
Right. Because I say that because, more and more, I want to say in my, especially my generation of parents and, my peers that do have kids, we for the most part we don't really beat our kids. And we'll definitely see how that goes. But I know I was having a conversation with an older gentleman. His name is Mr. Simpkins. Shout out Mr. Simpkins, Walter. And he was saying like how people would be like, the problem with this generation that they didn't get beat and this, that, and the third. And it's like, you can't say that because our generation, it was all crack babies, and what I'm saying, we was all messed up. It's not like it was a whole generation of CEOs and people who became active members of society. You know what I mean? You can't say that. So I agreed with him on that, but I do also know that some sort of discipline needs to be done. I know a lot of people look at whipping as another form of it's like an offset of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because if we didn't do what Master said, we was getting whipped. You know what I mean? And so now I would say maybe grandma's generation, I say, that's what they knew. So, they would beat, like I said, you kicked the water, beat him. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like as the world was turning and we get to more modern times, and it's like, I don't really want to beat my kids. You know what I'm saying? I remember shout out Uncle Clinton. I remember Uncle Clinton and grandma had a little thing because grandma whipped one of the twins, I believe, and Uncle Clinton was like, nah, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, well, then you gonna have to come discipline them then, because they just not, they're not listening to me. So I know, like, the disciplining as a parent is definitely changed, because now you got CPS and they make that phone call, you have a case on you quick, and sometimes it's warranted. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it is warranted, where it's like, you're literally, like you said, you drawing blood. You know, they going to school with whelps and all of that, and it's like, all right, that's not discipline. You're abusing them now. So, you know, I definitely feel like we discipline better.
Well, borrowing a little something from you and saying you do what you know. Okay, if you had grown up during your grandmother's time, then you would be more empathetic to say, all right, go out there and get me that switch.
Right.
Okay, and if webs show up, oh well. If blood is drawn, then oh well. At least you're living. Okay, and you do not want to. In my opinion, I don't see where a parent. No, I take that back. I have seen that where a parent will not discipline their child. But to me, you're not disciplining them for life. Okay, because you can't get a secular job and just show up when you want to show up.
Facts.
Not do what your assignment is and expect to get a paycheck. Okay, it takes a level of discipline for you to understand that if your work day is from 8 to 4, you need to be there 5 minutes before 8 and be willing to leave 4 minutes after 5 or whatever that is, your schedule is. And understand that when you're quote unquote on the clock, that's not your time to socialize, to network, whatever else you may rather be doing. No, from 8 to 4, you're a state employee, that's state time. I'm sorry. Okay. And if your assignment is not done, that is grounds for being fired. And don't say, oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know why they fired me. You know. You already know. So what is the real problem here?
Right.
Okay, you have lack of discipline in your life that you did not do what you were supposed to do during the time frame which you were given to do it. So we don't need you. Okay, so that in each situation and each generation, because each generation think their way is right.
True.
Or better.
True.
Okay, but I whipped you.
Yes.
You seem to be okay to me. You know, I think you're a pretty nice fella. Okay, but again, that was not the discipline of using pipes and wooden sticks and bats and any of that. No cigarette burns because I
that's a
smoke
lot.
anyway.
That's a lot.
So
because you're right. You're right. I definitely heard that. Yes.
Right. But see, I also respect your choice of how you discipline your children. I have never beat Patience nor Noodle. They get too much of me. Ronell,
come get
this job. Okay. And that's because I respect you as a father.
Right.
Because from my opinion, and I'm a little bit prejudiced about this, but you're a good father. You know, you take care of them. You make sure their needs are met. They're not neglected, as far as I know, in any way between you or Patty, and that works for them.
Patty.
Yes, Patty. And that works for them. They're safe. They're healthy. They're vibrant young women, going to be vibrant young women, but they're vibrant young children right now. And I don't see, for myself personally, anything wrong with the way you discipline your children. So if that works for you, I will call you in a heartbeat. Not a problem. But they will sit in that chair until you get there. You see what I'm saying? So that if the amount of respect is given, okay, because I don't want to, because I've seen all of my brothers arrested, okay, and the police are not kind.
No.
And we know more about that now in this period, than in any other time.
Right.
Okay, because they didn't publicize it, they didn't tell it, they didn't share it with their neighbors or nothing.
Nope.
You know, they took a little black man behind there, and if he disappeared, who knew?
Right.
The real reason why he disappeared.
I'm with you.
But now today it's very obvious, okay? And for what we have seen, the young man or even the young woman don't have to be doing anything wrong, anything out the way, or anything suspect. Okay? And what they do now that's publicized more than then is they will come in your house. You ain't called nobody.
Right.
Nobody told them there's something going on in their part. They'll come in your house and kill you and say it's your fault.
Right.
What? But these are the kinds of things that society may not accept it as such, but you're training your children to deal with when they get on their own.
Right.
And if they have no sense of discipline, they can't offer any sense of discipline, and they will not do what they need to do to keep themselves safe.
Yo, and right in this room over here, my mother got a 18-inch ruler. Right, I see it now, and I be having flashbacks. Oh, she'll pick it up like, "Mom, put that down. Don't start." Also, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that's out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Is there any before we wrap up? Is there any messages or anything that you wanted to say to the mothers today?
Well, I just want to tell the mothers, I would love for them all to take pride in what they do. Everybody doesn't mother the same way, and everybody doesn't exude that love that only mothers have. I believe that if we keep on being mothers and stay in our role as mothers, and just make those minor adjustments that we need to make from year to year as we mature and as our children and grandchildren become into parenthood on their own, in their own right. Because, again, we would love them a lot of times to do what we do, but ultimately they're going to do what they want to do. So we just be there to continue to support, continue to love, and to continue to be there for them when they need us. Need being the operative word.
All right, Marvin, I love you.
I love you,
I want to
son.
thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody for coming in and sharing this Mother's Day special with your boy. Make sure you comment, you like and you subscribe. I'm on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so make sure you listen for any additional things that you want to hear about us. And Els. Yeah.
Don't look for me to cater to your needs. I'm here to argue. I might turn you through a meme. A little disagreement.